Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another special episode. Also, want to mention this is the 100th episode of Herschel Talkers here. Also, back to back,
That's
got
it.
another special return guest. How are you doing today, Derrick?
Doing good, doing good. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Also, want to make sure to like and subscribe. Get those subscribes up, follow and share. We kind of met our goals, but trying to add to that. But jumping right into it. Derrick won another one, complete. I don't even know the word. Beat down, boat race, destroyed.
Yeah.
Not really sure what else you would say, but how's it feel? I never thought we'd say back to back. So how's that? How you feeling that?
I'm still in shock. It's almost like I don't. Is this real? Is this like because it's just we're right now and you always hear people growing up or you hear Bama fans talk about the glory days and they're always in the mix and everything like that. Now it's we're in it, right, with Georgia. I mean it's the things are rolling and but I mean the first thing I'll say to the game is it shows the difference of when you constantly have top 3 recruiting classes compared to a team like TCU that finishes barely in the top 25 or mid top 25, around 15 or higher. I mean, exactly. That's where it really shows the difference of the your backups to you hear the commentators the whole game like we took a starter out and brought someone in and it's just like how are they just as good? Like don't miss a beat.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the things you got to give Kirby, he knows how to motivate those kids. That leaked audio, I will say that made me want to run through a brick wall.
Exactly. That was great. Yeah, I think going back to that, I think there was a blue shirt ratio that I read for like 247. If you follow that, it was like 15 5-stars were there. We had like 40 something 4-stars at 15. They had all the 3-stars and felt pretty good going into it. And we had the better coaching staff, but then you kind of saw what they did to Michigan. But after this 65-7 beatdown, I'm just like, what was Michigan doing? What would we have done to Michigan? I know I felt like everybody felt like the national title was the week before against Ohio State. Got to give it to the suck eyes there.
Oh yeah.
But it gave us a scare,
but well one of the things too is it sounds like the preparation for this game was way more hardcore in the sense compared to coming off from the holidays and stuff, which is always hard to get going for the Ohio State game. And I think it was Van Pran was talking about because Tebow made the joke that they were like he couldn't believe how hard they were going at it at practice. And I think it was to just like, hey, we're gonna make sure this is that what happened the week before is not going to happen again. And it's just that's kind of that mindset of a championship team compared to a team like TCU that's the Cinderella. But that was always the thing that was in the back of my mind that I don't think was talked about enough was TCU was given 28 points by Michigan and still only beat them by 6. I mean, with Michigan they still had a chance to drive down and tie it. I mean, that's the crazy thing to me that they were given 28 points and you only win by 6. I mean, you could see every possession against TCU, their DBs, their defense just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, completely agree. Jumping into it. First off, Bennett, can't say anything more. 18 for 25, 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing. MVP. It's got to go down. It's probably one of the best like playoff or national title game quarterbacks ever. I mean, he's just money in there. Can't say anything better about him. We were running pretty much at will. 44 rushes for 254. What impressed me was, that's all we heard about was the Johnston kid, 1 catch for 3 yards. I thought that was impressive. Didn't even get any junk catches. I don't know who the Darius guy is or Davis. They had to throw to somebody. And then Max Duggan, tough kid, but he was lost just completely. I mean, he couldn't do anything.
He hadn't faced the defense like that. I mean, it's That's the other thing is it's they built him up so big, but it's hard in the Big 12 because there's no teams that have defenses like in the SEC.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to take how good is he really, and he got knocked in the jaw Monday night and never got back up.
Yeah, he did. And what was impressive is 38-7. I was like, hey, I felt pretty confident, but I was like, hey, they got this comeback mentality and then just didn't do anything. And then when we had, I don't even know who number 20 was running the ball in, we were probably texting, you got Branson Robinson running over, the Clark guy. I mean, he had 35 yards. He was dragging people. I was like, man, these guys they just gave up or gassed out. Just look like a non-Power 5 team.
Tell me when you see Robertson touch the ball, tell me he does not look like Chubb Jr. running the ball.
No, he does, like him.
I mean, it is to a T the way he just breaks through tackles and stuff. I mean, it's just awesome to watch.
It is. And I think looking back here, I could be wrong. Do we have a chance of having all our running backs come back? I know McIntosh might be one looking, but I don't know if he had a good enough year. Do we get them all back? And we have that kid from Robinson coming in.
I think I've heard McIntosh might leave
for the draft or transfer.
I think for the draft, maybe.
Okay. I can kind of see that, but yeah.
But I mean, we pretty much, I mean, for how young we're all on the defensive side, we were pretty young on the offensive side. And let's not mention we have two stud not running backs, but wide receivers transferring to us as well.
That's right.
It's crazy just how Kirby's able to make sure just to keep reloading at every key position.
Yeah, it is. And then I know it's really early, but I mean, I know everybody's kind of talking three-peat. We can go over like the schedule here in a little bit, but I mean, hey, why not, right? And well, I wanted to ask this just because Todd was there and Dan even after the game, like we won, and it was like one of the like non-stressful games. But I'm like, what now next year? Is like we won 2. Like, what's the mindset going as like a Georgia fan? Kind of like of course you want to win every game, but is it gonna be like, hey, if you lost one, I mean, how do we handle this mindset going forward as a fan? I'm kind of just like, I don't know where to go, kind of like.
No, 100%. I mean, I'll admit this season, I didn't even think because of how much we lost on defense, how many guys left and stuff. I thought having a young defense, naturally, you're going to have holes. Teams are going to find those holes and it's going to take a little bit to build that back. And I was like, we make the playoffs, but I don't know that we go on a serious run. And I mean, this team just blew it away. And I think at the end of the day, it's kind of the, just getting that expectation, Kirby's he's got it rolling. We're us and Bama are the two now that, I loved when Pollock went at Saban sitting next to him and pretty much said, Georgia's at the top of the mountain, which you can't say someone isn't at the top of the mountain when they've won back-to-back titles. And that was the first time since Bama did it last,
Right.
So it's one of those things I definitely would say, for the long term, we should be winning the East for a while and having that opportunity, to get to the playoffs. And then what is it, in a year or two, they're going to be when they expand it. And then when it's expanded, I mean, Georgia should be in it every year. So, I mean, that's really the mindset is, not getting entitled, but, to me right now, it feels like we're playing with house money because I didn't think, it was awesome winning it last year, but to go back to back, I'm like, man, like this is just playing with house money now. Like what else can we do? Like, let's set some records going.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great time to be, a Georgia fan. I did love, Saban deep down probably was pulling for TCU, who'd have loved to say, and then I think my mom was telling me earlier on Paul Feinbaum or whatever. I don't know what it was, but like Saban was picking, like they said in his poll, they had Alabama number 2. I'm like, are you delusional? Should have been like, see Ohio State maybe being 2, TCU 3, but 2 losses, didn't even win your division. I don't know, man. He's grasping, I think.
Yeah, he was saying that pretty much kind of going on like Bama's not getting any respect, and then pretty much was going on, TCU getting blown out that bad should not be number 2 in the AP poll to finish the season. But the question is you can't put Bama up there because then Tennessee's got to be above them. Tennessee beat them head to head. It doesn't matter that it was a last minute field goal. I mean, Bama's 4 plays away from having 4 or 5 losses this past season. So I mean,
It's
you can always play that role back and forth, but it's I'm just still shocked that it was just that big of a beatdown. I mean, it was when Kirby was saying when they asked him at the start of the game, what's one word you aggressive? We're gonna and right after that, man, somebody had to call the cops because he was letting he let the dogs out for sure. I mean,
he did, and I did like him running it on like 4th down, late in the 4th, getting and then I think before the game, you kind of tell, like I followed Josh Pate on 247. He just said he went out there and you can kind of just see this business-like, we've been here before with Georgia, and then TCU, like I think they had a DJ earlier in the week. We're happy to be here kind of thing. I think they just ran into a buzzsaw and a grizzly bear, and just you picked the wrong dude.
I mean, that kind of beat down, I hate, I'm not ones to like totally, that a conference shouldn't have a team available to play, but until it's expanded, I mean, in my opinion, the Big 12 shouldn't have a team in there again after that. I mean, you're talking, so Bama boat raced their champion in Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl. And then we just beat the runner-up team that beat Michigan that was, should have won their conference championship, but didn't. And, that both their top 2 teams in their conference got boat raced. I mean, that right there should be, I don't care if you're one of those teams go undefeated next year, like, sorry, better luck until the playoffs expand when you get another invite.
Exactly. And I think it made it even look like Harbaugh, Michigan looked bad. It's like, man, y'all got beat by TCU, and then Georgia just creams them, blows the wheels off.
I still don't know how Michigan lost that game after like TCU's because I mean they made TCU look like they actually had a great defense, and that they weren't. They just the scheme they run it throws teams off if you don't have. But the problem with the defensive scheme that they run doesn't do good with tight ends, and when you have Brock Bowers and Big O, my boy Darnell Washington there, I mean it's going to leave holes, and you can tell. I think another big thing too that's not being pointed out big too is look at the difference of Darnell being in there all game, even if he wasn't 100%, compared to when he went down in Ohio State, and our offensive philosophy had to change a little bit because we didn't have that extra blocker or pass catcher that Darnell gives us. Because I mean, his blocking skills, some of those blocks he got in that game were just no tight end should be able to do, like just stupid.
Yeah, you got to give it to Todd Hartley, man, and tight end you. And we got like I think 3 guys coming in. I mean, he's just doing crazy on recruiting. We're gonna miss Darnell. Wish he'd stay another year, but do what you got to do.
Yeah, he's gonna kill it in the league.
And then got to pay some respects to the man. I know we doubted him, probably you and I'll eat my crow. Probably I need to get a jersey now, but just can't talk more about Bennett. I mean, it has to be, I think, a Disney movie. Just baller. And I do kind of hate all the he's 25. Everybody's saying that, but I mean, 2 national titles, walk on, you can't say anything. I was going to ask you this, Derrick, because we were talking the other night. So who would be player-wise after this? Who would be your Mount Rushmore for Georgia players if you had to pick?
I mean, I think you have to put Bennett number 1 now. I mean, back to back, Herschel's always going to be there no matter what. Like Herschel, when I back in the day, you talk to anyone about Georgia, everybody knows who Herschel Walker was. Doesn't matter if you hated him, didn't watch football, then you knew who Herschel Walker was. It's just crazy. And Herschel Walker's always going to be there. But as my boy Aaron Murray even said, like Bennett is the Georgia GOAT now. He is. I mean, you just can't go away from that. Just I mean, the guy is just I'll eat my crow for like just same way. Like
Yeah.
I doubted him at the start, and there was frustrating times when he got in there, and I'll be lying if I didn't say when he took over initially, when he threw that long ball, I'd be nervous. What is it going to be there? Is it going to be picked off? All that. But man, he is the grade A story for any young kids, anybody that like just shows no matter if someone tells you can't do it, you can. It's just you put in the work, you put in the hard work, you prevail, you don't give up. I mean, hands down, anything is possible. I mean, Bennett definitely showed it. I mean, what he was a walk-on 2-star, and when he's going on and slinging it past these guys that were stars. I mean, if you look in the Ohio State game, his stats were as good as Stroud's, but all you hear about is Stroud. Stroud killed it. Well, what about Bennett? And you can bring up the age thing, but it wasn't a big deal when Chris Winkie won, and Chris Winkie won a Heisman. The thing that's disappointing to me is the stat that I saw last night that I sent to you about that, since even with Bennett winning back-to-back national titles, winning the offensive MVP in every playoff game he's been in, because he wasn't voted an All-American, he will not qualify for the College Football Hall of Fame, and that's a travesty. I mean, something's got to be changed. I mean, there is absolutely no way. And that's where it runs to too, in my opinion. Why is the Heisman vote not happened after the season is fully done? Why is it? Because every talking head now say, I will listen to Chris Childers, Rick Neuheisel, all those guys on Sirius XM, and now they're all like, if it would have been, the voting would have been now, it would be a landslide Stetson Bennett. And Chris Childers even admitted he was one of the people that did vote for Bennett to win, and he got flack for it from people. Why are you just voting for Bennett just to vote for him? And he's like, no, he is the definition of a Heisman candidate. Yeah. So, it's just crazy. I tip my hat to the man, and probably the best part about him is in his interviews, he doesn't try, fluffing stuff up. He just tells it like it is, that he's just happy to be out there. He's happy to help his teammates out. It's not about, he doesn't want the spotlight fully on him. He absorbs it and just wants to pride it around, and it's awesome.
He's definitely great, definitely role model. Just can't talk anymore. I'll be pulling for him on draft night. I did want to ask that too, being brutally honest. Do you think, like, if you fast forward a year from now, is he like on an NFL roster? Do you think he's on a practice squad, or how do you see him going maybe from what
I think he goes late round, 6th or 7th round, and watch old Billy Belichick, watch for him. I bet he takes him as a late pick. He loves some Georgia Bulldog players, and that Stetson Bennett is the grade A. He pull a sneak attack and could work good in his system like young Brady did back in the day. I can't go against Bennett anymore. I mean, that dude has done nothing but prove me wrong. So I agree. In a year, if I was an NFL team and I needed a quarterback to give someone a shot, because that man's obviously a locker room leader, because every person they interviewed after the game Monday, which was when they asked him, what was your favorite moment? I know Brock Bowers, McConkey, a bunch of those guys were like, when they called the timeout and the standing ovation for Bennett. I mean, there's all those moments, those guys. Ladd made so many great catches, and he could have went to some of those moments. And where'd he go to? The leader of the offense in Bennett. Okay. I mean, that just says it right there. I mean, you get those kind of guys to follow you, you could get some NFL guys to follow you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like him late rounds. Hey, maybe Panthers give him a call real late. They need some help, right?
he would be better than King Mono, aka Sam Darnold. I know that much.
Yeah. Hey, he might be better than what's the guy that hurt his foot from Ole Miss last year? Corral?
I forgot he was still on the team.
Yeah. Jacob Eason was on the team, but I think I looked at his Instagram. He's with the Niners now. I like the kid, man. He's bounced around.
Yeah, he just bounces around from one practice squad to another. I don't understand why when Indianapolis gave him a shot and then it just didn't translate or something. So
yeah, feel like he's got the arm, but maybe not in between the ears. It's tough.
Yeah.
And then another guy that's talking about that going forward. I think Lavin Conkey might be a Patriots guy too, right? Maybe next year. That'd be he might be the man too, like a Hunter Renfro.
No, 100%. That
Yeah.
He is. I mean, you could tell he was definitely finally 100% again because he was he was all over the place and they couldn't keep up with him. It was awesome.
It was, yeah, great game by him. Just all in all, Salt just couldn't do anything wrong. I think they finally kicked in the fourth quarter, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, the crazy thing is that game could have been a lot higher than what it was. That's the
could have put 80 on them probably.
Oh, easily. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the even crazy part about it is to see a blowout like that and then think, I think they actually could have won even more. Like that's just wild.
Exactly. All right, right before we look ahead, going to give a shout out to Viva Tequilaseltzer.com. This would have been a great thing to drink after the celebration. 0 sugar, 0 carbs. Live long, live well, live it up. I partial to the elderberry. The huckleberry is really good. For 20% off, discount code or promo code is hustle. So check out vivatequilaseltzer.com. Also on Viva Seltzer on Instagram. Check it out. And then looking ahead real quick, wanted to look at the upcoming schedule, or it should be, I was thinking it's cheesy schedule here. What's your thoughts on this? I mean, this home slate looks, I guess they do have, hey, Shamecocks, I guess they have them third, but that's first 4. You can throw helmets out there at Auburn. If I had to pick one, I'm a little worried about, that's a little tough stretch, but at Tennessee, might be cold in Knoxville.
Oh.
I mean, this is a favorable schedule. We got a chance of like 11-1, 12-0. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I already see articles about the people coming at us about the schedule, and it's at the end of the day, the SEC was the one that the SEC office was the one that said that had to cancel that Oklahoma game because that would have been the season. So and apparently I was reading where they were saying there was really no teams available to be able to schedule, so we had to settle with Ball State, which is it is what it is, but it's that Ole Miss game will be tough. The Tennessee game at Neyland, because they're out for revenge. So that one is definitely, it's going to be a cool evening in November because that game's either 3:30, probably going to be 3:30 on CBS or a late ESPN SEC game. So. And with it that late in the season, I bet that's one of the top games of that week. So
could be for the East on line.
Yeah, no, 100%. So it's going to be, it's definitely going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, looking at theirs real quick, just wondering, all right, so they got Virginia, they won that, Austin Peay, at Florida, which I think they got problems, at Alabama.
Oh,
that'll be, they're circling that one.
Yeah.
At Kentucky, and then UConn, that's random. Texas A&M. I mean, they could have one loss, and then we would be the tiebreaker with us. So just looking at theirs.
Yeah. It's hard to tell what Texas A&M because if Texas A&M would be good, that's a pot because Milton for Tennessee is good. His arm is like he has a heck of an arm, but I don't feel like he can fully control it. In the sense of he doesn't put the touch on the passes to where, he's not a hooker. Hooker would place it, and then they, with them missing their receivers, hopefully, that'll help us for sure.
And then, they say you can spin it, throw it through the car wash. You just don't know where it's going.
Exactly.
And then looking ahead in the spring, I know it'll be here in a couple months. So what kind of maybe position battles or where do you see maybe we need to work on? And then do you think Beck's going to be the man or do you think Gunnar Stockton? What do you think?
I'm interested to see the quarterback battle because, Beck was put in there, and it's this season he was the backup, but I don't feel we've seen I think Beck definitely can make throws and everything like that, but having a mobile quarterback, I think now in this game, because think about some of those plays, not only in the national championship, but against Ohio State and in some of our big games where Stetson's legs played a big role. And, I've heard from many people reading on message boards, things like that, saying Gunnar Stockton he doesn't look like a normal freshman.
Yeah.
And you're talking of a guy that broke Deshaun Watson's high school record in Georgia. Yeah. So, that right there to me is something to keep an eye on, which, always want a good battle, because that's, you don't want someone just handed the job just because they're the next guy up. So, hopefully that'll be interesting to see there. It will be interesting to see on the wide receiver side. Do you think AD Mitchell's going to stay?
I heard that before, I think we messaged each other. I heard that, but it's kind of interesting to see he did have a good playoffs.
Yeah.
So is his spot, I get all X, Y, would that be more of the Rara Thomas, is that his name? Would that be his kind of position to come in? I know so. More of the Dominique Levitt is more of a slot guy. That'd be kind of like maybe Lat's position, more depth.
Right.
And then I think they got some guys coming in too. I feel like they're going to be real deep at receiver.
Which is probably one of the first times we've been. Usually we have one or two really good guys, and then the other guys are good, but they're not like you put the game on your back good kind of thing.
And then worst case scenario is thinking on the quarterbacks, just getting real picky. It's like, all right, let's say they name Beck. Does BVG transfer? And then let's just say that happens. Then you'd have Beck, probably Gunner a close second. And then you got some walk-ons. It's got like Muschamp's kid. Where an injury or two away, you're getting real light there. Do you maybe get like a portal quarterback, or what do you think? Just
Yeah, that may be it. I've heard talks of on the message boards and stuff of BVG being the one that if we lose a quarterback, he's going to transfer. Yeah. But that's one of the unfortunate things now with NIL and the transfer portal is the depth at key positions like quarterback and stuff. Everybody wants to play, right? So it's hard to have a really good backup now, or keep them around because they want to go somewhere else that they can probably play.
Yeah. And then if I guess I had to worry about some weak areas, I know we got some guys coming in. I think you lose Broderick Jones. I guess they're kind of waiting if SVP Van Pran, which I don't even know who would be center. It's like, how's that offensive line going to look? And then I know Searles, you got to give it to him. They turned it around. One of the better O-line rooms. But are we getting the elite 5-star recruits the way Pittman did? I feel like we're kind of getting those 4 stars. But how do you think we're going to be on O-line? Because it might be a weak area.
That's going to be the key because definitely. I think Broderick Jones is projected to be like the top offensive line to be taken in the NFL. And I saw a crazy stat. I don't think he allowed a sack all season, which
real quiet over there. You never heard his name, which is a good thing.
No, but he is a monster. And that
we got McClendon. Is McClendon a junior?
I think so.
So do you how about moving Mims over, who's plug and play at right or left tackle, and you got McClendon? That might be a good solution.
I'm
Mims is just utility guy.
No, the B where Mims can just be plug and played, and he's phenomenal no matter where you put him. Yeah. You don't see that a lot. But at the end of the day, that's where all this started. Remember when Kirby got to Georgia, one of the biggest things was you got to have that strong offensive line. You got to be able to get that push and get that protection. And now years later, you got that great wall to where there wasn't many people putting that pressure on Stetson.
Oh, yeah. So we'll see. It'd be interesting. And also be, who we lose in the portal. I guess the only one so far is this week was Scyther, which we're so loaded at tight end. Can't blame the kid.
I think some defensive guys may be transferring. Just
I think the
because they
Sherman
want.
kid's gonna stay. I was reading on 247. He's like he wants to stay, which I don't know why he hadn't played, or I heard he's a good leader. I don't know if he just can't get off the ball.
Yeah.
He's a 5-star. Yeah. So we'll see. All right, man. Anything else? I don't want to keep too late tonight.
Did you see the comment from old Mackenzie Milton, the old UCF quarterback, the one that blew his leg out? He made the tweet talking about if Jamison Crowder didn't go down, Georgia would have never won the national championship, would never beat Bama. And then if Marvin Harrison Jr. wouldn't have went down, we wouldn't have beat Ohio State. I mean, that kind of stuff just kills me because, so our best pass rusher, Nolan Smith, had he not been hurt, Stroud would have never have had as much time as he did. Nolan Smith would have been back there every time. So
and Darnell Washington going down too didn't help.
And Darnell Washington going, but see, you never hear those talks. It's just like, that whole season, what was it? Pickens was hurt most of the whole season.
Yeah.
Against when we went up against Bama, but all you hear about is Jamison Crowder. Well, they lost both their top two wide receivers.
Yeah.
Or Jameson, yes, Jameson Crowder, Jameson Williams. Every time you hear about you heard about just him being hurt, but you never heard about any of the big injuries Georgia had to go throughout the whole season.
Yeah. Another tweet that bothered me, and I hope he sucks on it somewhere, is Eric Ainge. He sucks, man. I told a Tennessee fan, I go, I hope he sucks on it after that. I was just trying to punk.
He's got problems. Like, just to call Bennett a punk, and you don't even know Bennett, dude. Like, get out of here. Get out of here with that. Like, it's just one of those. He wishes he could have done that at Tennessee, and he never had the talent that Bennett did, and Bennett was a walk-on, and it gets on his nerves. I guarantee it.
Exactly. Hey, if he wants to keep talking, or if he wants to tweet before the Tennessee game and get Kirby pissed off again, hey, go ahead. Keep talking.
I think that's going to be the interesting thing this coming season is what Kirby does to keep that motivation going. Because this year it was the disrespect, right? So how do you keep that? Because now it's gone back to back. There ain't no one going to be fully doing you're no contender, because when you go back to back, you're at the top of the mountain to where people's got to be getting on your level, kind of thing.
It'll be interesting to see like what saying, it was a leader, you're a leader or not, and then it was you're hunted. Maybe he'll get a new saying, and then maybe he can get these guys. It's the guys that maybe didn't play like you haven't done anything. What are you going to do this year?
Right.
Maybe get I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. He's got to give them the head games.
Exactly.
And then I hope we keep Monken. NFL, stay away from him.
Well, it doesn't seem like he's wanting to go anywhere. I think he's enjoying it, man. He's probably. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get some type of raise again. And
pay the man.
A lot of those top assistants, and I think it's just it's when things are rolling the way they got it, and I think you can tell Kirby has all the faith in him when he's in his game plan. So it's one of those. I think you've got ex-coaches on the defensive side, offensive side. I mean, it's just. It just molds to where it unstoppable is pretty much is what it's turning into.
I think Monken's definitely the key piece. Also, probably doesn't get looked at enough. I mean, I think Georgia fans is how he was behind Bennett, and you won 2 national titles with a walk-on, which is great.
Yeah.
But I guess it just scares me in the NFL with all they'll have all these coaching fires, and then you might go like, all right, well, who's a good coordinator we could pick up on the NFL team, and they kind of poach him. That's the only thing I worry. So if we can maybe get around it in a couple of weeks with nothing happening, be safe.
Well, yeah, no, 100%. Well, the Panthers are one of the worst teams looking for a coach, and I haven't seen anything of them going after looking into Georgia assistants. They're going after more like assistants that are in the NFL kind of thing. So hopefully it'll stay that way.
Yeah. All right, real quick on the Panthers. Who's your list, or who would you like for them to get?
I mean, I was not gonna lie. I was actually for Jim Harbaugh. I mean, at least he's taken a team to the Super Bowl. He's
pretty good record too.
he's just a goofball. And I think that's the problem is teams don't like that he's not because that was always the story when he was at the 49ers, why that relationship went sour. He was a goofball.
Yeah.
And I don't think he went like the normal grain of what normal coaches are.
Right.
And they didn't like that. And that was boom, he was gone. So, you know, I mean, I just saw a report they're interviewing Ken Dorsey. He should not be hired. Like, just if you're wanting to go 500, just let Wilkes take the job. But at the end of the day, until the Panthers get a legit quarterback, they're gonna, because don't get me wrong, JC Horn was a great pick, but he can't stay healthy, unfortunately. So, and when he got hurt, I mean, having to sign Josh Norman out the coffee shop to come play a couple games, like, so I don't know who would you want?
I think he's a far fetch, but if you wanted to win, he's an ass probably, but he's good exit. I think Sean Payton would be great. I doubt he would come. I don't know if he's a Carolina guy if I had to pick. My friend Patrick, who's a diehard fan, like you and follow, he mentioned right off the bat Ken Dorsey, and here's the reason why: is he's coached Josh Allen. He was with Cam actually when Cam was really good during those years, so he has that Carolina connection. But he did say, I'm not sure about him being head coach. But that's the only reason why I like him. If you needed like an OC type, another name that I like, and they're good, and you get the whole Rudy rule is, how about the San Francisco DC? I think he's trending, and that San Fran defense is legit. If you want a defensive-minded coach, that might be good. Just that guy.
100%. No, that I didn't even think about that.
He was a name that I saw pop up in like a list. And you always hear Eric Bieniemy, but we always hear he doesn't interview well. I don't know what that means. I know he's always been kind of all around.
Right.
But I'd say maybe one of those. But
and then I think I saw somewhere, I think the Saints are going to ask if a team hires Sean Payton a first round. They want a first round draft pick for him. And I'm just like how long does it go until, like, it should be, I get it if it was, he just retired 2 years ago. What was it, 2 years? How long ago was it?
He missed one. He missed a full season. Yeah.
I mean,
he didn't coach. He didn't coach last year, I don't think, or this year, right?
Right.
When was Breeze's last year? Did he go? I forget.
I think that was a good 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. Well, maybe this is his second year. I think he missed last year, and then this year, I think. Was it the COVID year? Might have been. But anyway, they made a Netflix movie since then.
Right.
So it's been a while.
That's where I don't understand. Like, if someone doesn't want to, I get maybe he had some time left on his contract, but if he doesn't want to be there, and he retired, he's gone. Yeah. You should. Maybe a third round pick, I can be down, third round pick or higher, but a first round pick for him,
that's a lot. I agree.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But I will say, if somehow Cowboys choke and lose to Brady and early out, I could see him being a target by the Cowboys because he's got a house there. That's a big.
The word is that the Cowboys don't win their coach. There was Jerry Jones was on a podcast and he said he's safe, but Stephen A. and all those guys definitely think if the Cowboys lose, he's probably going to be good chance.
To see what Skip Bayless, he usually has his ear down. That's his team.
Yeah, for sure.
Skip needs to watch your Shannon's gonna come across that table and put a whooping on him, man. If he starts, man, he's been saying some crazy stuff.
Well, Shannon's mad at him with that tweet he put out that night when the Bills player went down. I mean, I get it, the question he was trying to ask, but time and place, man. Wait a day or two and sent, but he knew what he was doing. He sent it out and there was over 120 views. I've never seen so many pro athletes dogging somebody as they were Skip. And I'm just dude, just come out and apologize and delete it. And he never did. He never fully I shouldn't have sent this tweet. He was just, we're going to get through this. This is tough. And when Shannon Sharp was on the next day, he wouldn't even let Shannon Sharp get through his monologue because Shannon
Yeah.
was like, you need to take that down. And he's like, well, I'm not going to take it down. And the higher ups didn't think it was that bad either. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, man. Well, another great year.
Yeah.
2 for 2. Let's go for 3 in 2023. And yeah, man,
Love it.
it's great to
Let's
be a
do
dog.
It is. It is. Go Dogs.
All right, man. Go Dogs. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, see you.